The next speaker is Håkon Ødegaard. He is head of politics in COOP Norway. COOP Norway has long been regarded as one of the best ones in terms of corporate social responsibility in Norway.
Yeah.
But still, you also meet challenges, don't you, Håkon?
Yeah, we do. And
forward to hear you.
And we met one not in China, but just around the corner. So I want to show some of the same things that Rema 1000, which is one of our competitors in Norway, about how difficult this actually is. And I think my base point here is that as a company, you have to have ambitions to do something about the problems, first of all. And then you have to work with the systems. So if there's two things you have to remember after the, I think now only 7 minutes I have, is that you have to have ambitions, you have to really mean something about what you're doing, and then you have to have the systems to follow that up. But you have to have both things. And what happened here at Bergermoen, which is our new logistics center, it's going to cost us 1.5 billion Norwegian kroners. It's going to be the most modern warehouse in Europe. Robots, robots, robots. It's going to be engineers working there. But it's the same problems that we have in the value chain down to China. And I'm going to also I'm going to do two things then. Show you something about Bergermoen, and then I'm going to, a little bit similar as the Rema 1000, I'm going to show you some of the value chains that we have and what is the problems that we actually face. A little bit about us. You have to remember one thing, we are owned by 1.3 million Norwegians. You own us. Yes. That means that we are a cooperative. We are also the biggest non-food operator in Norway. Besides that, we have 23 of the grocery markets, so we're very big. We're the biggest in paint, for instance. But also, we have a history. As a cooperative, we have a history. We're founded 140 years ago. We were founded by poor peoples that's trying to carve out the struggle in life, as the workers on the Chinese factories are today. You know? And we also work by the international cooperative principle number 7. We work for the sustainable development of the communities through policies approved by their members. The members are you. So we have a history, and we are also a founding member of the Initial Trading Initiative Norway. So we are working according to that. We have total transparency on suppliers. We have also zero tolerance policy and other remarks related to fire security. That means that if there's one remark on a factory, we won't work with them, because fires is one of the biggest problems when it comes to factories and security also. And then we are working on systematizations of responsibility, our own responsibility, the competence inside, and the recruitment policy of our employees when it comes to CSR. Okay, so back to Bergermoen. It's big. It's 56,000 square meters. And of course, we are not really builders, are we, co-op? We're doing shops. But this time we're going to really build a big thing. And what happened is that we have a main contractor called GSA Norway. And GSA Norway is actually a French company, it's worldwide. And the responsibility for managing the GSA subcontractors and securing that they operate according to the Norwegian laws and legislation that belong to GSA. So by the law, we did nothing wrong. But we always have the responsibility anyways. What happened is that, and also we had 3 site controls by Norwegian authorities and over 108 controls on the building site, both by us and by GSA. But still there was social dumping. Still there was 40 plumbers from Spain working for 40 Norwegian kroners an hour. And by the Norwegian tariff, it's supposed the lowest is 167,000 kroners an hour. And we didn't know that. And these workers were working side by side with all the other workers. And why didn't we see that? Everything was in order. No? All the contracts, all the audits, everything. But they were actually cheating on us, in a sense, though. But this is happening just around the corner for us, social dumping. But of course, when we found out, we will, actually we or the GC, probably the GC, will have to repay them, but also we had to make sure that they actually will still work there, because we were afraid that what will happen is that they were sent back to Spain, you know? So, my point is that we work worldwide. Our biggest stores, Coop Ops, has 20,000 different wares from 20,000 different suppliers. And this happens in Norway. So it's continuously work. And another thing that we learned is sitting in red there. We have learned a lesson. We have to have more direct contact with individual employees in order to assure the quality of information obtained from the management of the companies. And that is actually going all the way back to the chain to the other side of the world as well. So, and my other point now is I'm going to China, and I'm going to show you how difficult this is. Okay, we have Sandground is a cycle factory in Wuxi. It's a factory, and as Rema 1000 knows as well, in Asia, you have to work for a long time. We have been working with this factory for only 15 years. And so I just wanted to show you how this actually works. Okay, we have Sandground. It's a rather small factory in Wuxi. Okay, are you all agree that we have some sort of responsibility for the working conditions on that factory? Are you agree? Okay. And then it ships by down the Shanghai Shengdong International Container Terminal. It's the world's largest and most modern terminal in the world. Do we have responsibility, or you, because you are the owners of Co-op, have you the responsibility of the workers on that terminal? No. It's a Chinese Communist Party that actually, you know, do we? Maybe. Then they go on that ship. It belongs to the largest Danish shipping company in the world. Do we have a responsibility for the workers on that ship? Yeah. And then they go all the way to Norway, and then they go to Langhus. Do we have a responsibility for the workers on Langhus? Of course. And then they're shipped by these lorries that is owned by Schenker, one of the Europe's largest companies. Do we have responsibility for lorry drivers? Yeah. And in the end, it goes into the shops. This is only to show now. All this is the value chain that we have for those cycles. That is our own brand. And we have all these things that can happen all the way. So we all agreed on what we have. But what about the workers at the sticker factory? So one cycle has how many parts? 300 parts. They're all made by different factories around the Wuxi area. Subcontractors that are changing all the time. But do we actually, raise your hands that say that we have responsibility for the stickers, the working people on the sticker factories? Raise your hands. Ooh. Okay, so then we have the responsibility to have control of all this. In a sense, we have responsibility for everything in the world, to put it on the edge. So that is the problem. Okay? So, malazan for a horse. I tell you just one fact about that. There was not the Romanian workers. They're trying to legitimately make a very good slaughtering business in Romania. They did everything right. There was some mafia after the horse meat was delivered by the Romanians. And we don't know still what happened. But we were responsible for the lasagne in ours, made by the same factory as Rema 1000. Sorry? Yeah, we could have put Co-op, and I didn't find a picture of our own though. Okay, so but just to end it, it's very difficult. But we have to have two things. We have to have the ambition, and the ambition must be crossed with systematic work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Håkon. We're running a little bit late on time, so
But I was fast.
yeah, you were fast. Thank you. Thank you for giving us an insight into the complexity of all of it. And you're right in terms of the UN principles of businesses and human rights. Global business has responsibility for the value chain globally. So that's the fact that you have that. But you have also, I guess, to set limit for materiality. What is the important issues that you focus on, the most important issues, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to show now, I think that we have the ambition that everybody in all the value chain, gets something out of working for the things that we have. But I also showed you how difficult it is when we actually didn't find out, but by the help of the Norwegian unions, we did find out people that was working for over a year just 5 meters from us.
Yep.
And then we also have the responsibility for the sticker. So I just wanted to show that.
So it's a complexity and it's a wide scope.
Yeah.
And that leads me to the next point, because you were talking about the Norwegian unions. And without the cooperation from governments in the countries where you operate and strong unions, it's very, very difficult for businesses to take on the... So unions will be very important in kind of being also helping with the labor conditions.
And we also should support the unions of the world, actually.
Yeah. And I think that's a very valid and important point. So thank you so much, Håkon.